welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about frozen shoulder and how it affects women over the age of 40 through 60, and a little bit about my experience with frozen shoulder. If that's something that you're interested in, stay tuned. So if you've been following me for any length of time, when I started this channel, earlier this year in 2024, around March or April, I started to notice that I was having some problems with my shoulder a little bit. Now, prior to this injury, if you will, I generally went to the gym like 2, sometimes 3 times a week, always walking at the park and things of that nature. So I've been pretty active majority of my life, right? Nothing super intense. I mean, there's been periods where I go like, I'm very intentional about working out and, reaching some particular goals, but generally twice a week to the gym and everything else that falls, in that place, getting my steps, at least 8,000 steps. A day, walking a couple times a week, just staying really active. And so what was interesting is around March or April, I started taking some classes at the gym. So versus me doing my own individual routine, one of those days, or sometimes twice during the week, I would begin to go to some of their group workouts, which I really enjoyed, because what I found is that the group workout, you'll do things that you don't normally do in your own workout. And so what I recognized was that we did more stretching, we did more things related to balance, and we kind of worked the entire body. So that was exciting to me. I just liked it. It was a lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie, the music, the whole thing, right? And so I began to notice that I was having just a little pain in my shoulder, right? Now, what's interesting is that one of the things when I'm working out on my own prior to this injury, when I would get on the treadmill to warm up before I did weights or whatever, I would get on the treadmill and walk at least a mile. Sometimes I would alternate sprints and walking, but in the beginning of that walking on the treadmill, I would warm up. And so one of the things I'd always warm up is my shoulders, going back and forth, taking my shoulders and doing a full range of motion, right? Which I can sort of do now, right? But always stretching my shoulders is my point. But I just started noticing maybe sometime in March that I was getting some pain during those group workouts. We were having small weights, and I just, was just being very cautious. So after a few weeks, I decided to set up an appointment with an orthopedic doctor and get this shoulder checked out so I could see what was going on. Okay, so let's break down frozen shoulder. I'll tell you where I'm at and how this process has gone. But I think it's very relevant to maturing women, because I felt duped when I got this diagnosis of frozen shoulder from my physical therapist a couple of weeks into therapy. I had never heard of I've heard of it, but I didn't understand any of it, or that it was referenced, if you will, or very common for women over 40, from the ages of 40 to 60. So let me just read what frozen shoulder is, and then I'll explain my experience and all the good things. So it says here, frozen shoulder is a common shoulder condition that causes pain, stiffness, and limited motion. It gradually builds up over weeks or months and is often not noticed at first. So let me share this as well. One of the first things that I noticed, hold up, the wind is blowing out here, that I noticed was I couldn't reach my bra strap to put my bra on. Whereas with this arm, and I've done it in another video, I can go all the way to the back. You can see, where's my hand at? All the way to the mid back. Well, now I'm better, but I could not even reach halfway where I am with this shoulder right here. My range of motion was horrible. I could only lift my arm like about here, and there were just some other motions. Oh, like tucking my shirt in my pants. Those were some of the things that I began to recognize before I, decided to call the doctor. But so if you're having any of those particular symptoms, you may want to get checked out. And I think that as we mature, a lot of times we think that this is normal, or just part of us, getting older and stiffer. But it's actually a condition, and it can be fixed. So I definitely want to let you recognize that it's worth, even though it's time consuming, I've definitely seen have improvement. The age at which menopause occurs is when musculoskeletal problems are likely to begin. So women are generally more likely to develop frozen shoulders than men, and it usually occurs between 40 and 65. And so one of the things that I read was that because of our estrogen dropping, that does something to our, our muscles, if you will, and our joints, and that's why that condition can be more common in women. And then it says here that frozen shoulder is a common shoulder condition. It causes pain, stiffness, and limited motion. It gradually builds up over time and is often not noticed at first. Did I say that already? I think I did. Okay, but nevertheless, here's my point. My point is, I started physical therapy. My physical therapist did an evaluation, asked me to do different things, asked me a bunch of questions. And, I went to my first session and they had me doing a variety of exercises there in their, kind of gym. It's like a gym, the physical therapy gym. And so I did a lot of warming up of the shoulder. I did, and I still do, a lot of upper body work with weights and stretching and rolling balls and all the things. And I will tell you, as reluctant as I am, and I have complained on these videos, because I just don't like spending my time at that gym. I want to be at my own gym doing something fun. It has definitely been better. If you guys even saw that other video, you see where I can put my arm is almost at 100%. Like this is 100. You can see it's still a little crooked, right? Got maybe 5% more to go, but I could not reach that. I can reach little, maybe 2 inches above my back now. This is our last little part that we're working on. If I do my arms here, you see how I can turn my arm here like this? I can't. That's as far as I can do with this. So just kind of giving you some ideas and maybe some things that you can check out for yourself. But I just wanted to make a quick video because I think that it's important for us to be aware of these challenges and changes that can happen to our body as we begin to mature as women. So while I was waiting for my appointment, I remember my sister came up to visit, and I think there's a video here of it too. We went out bowling, and that was when I really realized something was going on. But shortly after that, I went to the orthopedic doctor. They took an x-ray. They said that they didn't see any arthritis or anything visible that they could see. So they thought maybe it was just like some tendonitis, etc. So they recommended that I go to physical therapy. So a couple weeks, I think I went to Minnesota, came back, or was it before Minnesota? I think I started right before I went to Minnesota, back in May, and started physical therapy. That was May. This is October. I am still in physical therapy. Now the question is, can we prevent frozen shoulder? And from my research, it says we can't always prevent frozen shoulder, but here are some of the things that they recognize, right? So exercising, doing a lot of range of motion, shoulder stretching and activity, making sure that we stretch our shoulders daily. And I'm going to look up maybe you can do your own research. If I come up with a stretching shoulder video that I see on YouTube, I'll link it down in the comment section. That way maybe there's a quick shoulder exercise that you can do pretty routinely. So I think that would be helpful. It also says sleeping wells, using pillows to support our head and neck can also help us. And when we have those challenges, to get evaluated early, see a doctor, and maybe you won't have to be in physical therapy as long as I have been. And then lastly, one of the questions that I had for my physical therapist was, now that we've sort of unfrozen or we're unfreezing the shoulder, what are the chances that it will freeze again? And so she said to me, it's very rare, but it is possible, but it's very rare. And she said, however, I may want to be mindful of the other shoulder. And I think that now that I have an indication of what frozen shoulder looks like, and I also am going to continue, even post PT, to continue to add stretching of my shoulders to my exercise workout, I can sort of be proactive in that area. So I hope that something that I've shared with you on today has been helpful. Again, I think it's very important that we stay knowledgeable of these things as we're changing and growing in this beautiful season of our life. So there you have it. the intricacies of my frozen shoulder story. I hope that something has been helpful to you. But listen, make sure if you enjoyed this video that you subscribe to this channel. It's a growing YouTube channel. Come on, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Also hit the like button and the thumbs up button, and hit the notification bell so you can receive a notification of all my future videos. And I would love to hear your comments. Have you ever had any challenges with your shoulder? Have you experienced frozen shoulder? Or do you know someone who has? And if you do, share this video with them. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.